Hello, I'm Dave Briskie, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of Briskie Business. Really excited to have everyone join me today. I really appreciate you taking part of your day and spending it with me and some of our guests. And we've got a wonderful guest this morning to bring to you, and he's going to help fill you with really interesting tips and tidbits and mentorship that I know you're going to enjoy. I appreciate the emails to briskiebusiness@entvUSA.com. Keep writing me. We'll keep styling the program to those topics you really want to hear. I get asked a lot of different questions, and those questions coming from you, I appreciate, and I am implementing your questions, your thoughts into the program. This is your show. Go back and take a look at previous episodes on the NTV USA app. They all live there, and you can go back and look at them and share them, and I really appreciate that. As you know, and we do it each week, the show is broken down into 4 basic segments: the Brisk Business Basics, Brisk Buy and Bail, Brisk Bulls and Bears, and Brisk Best and Brightest, which is where we really dig in a little deeper into mentorship. So let's get started on today's program. I've got a wonderful guest, 37-year career in media with a professional background that includes key positions in entertainment media, including ad agencies, cinema, and publishing. He was the marketing director of Gourmet, which is part of Condé Nast. He's the publisher of Men's Journal, which was part of Wenner Media, founded by Jan Wenner, the founder of Rolling Stone magazine. And after 10 years in publishing, he started another business, and he got involved with a company with a few partners that helped create the largest cinema advertising company in the world, NCMI. That's their ticker symbol, company, NCMI. He took it public in 2007, or they did, the group, and NCMI was built on the back of the 3 largest theater companies in the United States, that being AMC, Cinemark, and Regal. He then pivoted and started KPI, Kupiec Partners Incorporated, which is a media matchmaking company bringing top brands together with emerging, unique, and creative media opportunities. I love the concept here, and this guy can really do it. Help me welcome the founder and CEO of KPI, Dave Kupiec. Dave, welcome to the program. How you doing, my friend?
Terrific, Briskie. It's great to be here today talking with you.
Yeah, this is great. I really appreciate you jumping on the program, and it's always good to catch up. I love what's right over your shoulder there, man. I mean, that is one of the coolest pieces of art I've ever seen. What's going on behind you?
Quick story. My mother used to do something called brass rubbings, which is where you go to an ancient church, usually in Britain. You lay down a piece of paper, and you take a gold crayon of sorts, wax crayon, and you sculpt over the crypts where people are buried, and that's what you get at the end.
God, super cool, and what a great gift. That's awesome. I'm glad I asked. It's really neat. I'll have to check that out next time I'm up to your place. Okay, bud, so listen, let's take a deep breath. We're going to grab a cup of our favorite coffee, and let's get started with this program. The first segment is Brisk Business Basics, and let's just go way back. You have a really interesting story, I think, that's useful for our listeners, and that your schooling, the way you actually, so this is pre the career, the way you picked your school definitely set you up for your career because you had an idea on what you wanted to do with your life. Why don't you talk about that? Because we don't necessarily get that far back, and some of our younger listeners, I think, will find it very interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Brisk. When you're putting together a school choice today, as you've done with your daughters and we did with ours, it's very different. Everybody's got 10 to 15 schools, tons of research. Back then, we might have had 4 or 5 tops, and they were based on very, very shallow ideas of what we wanted to do. So I was thinking it'd be fun to go to Florida and be on the beach and learn how to surf. But I knew that if I wanted to go into any form of broadcasting or journalism or communications, which was kind of my passion, to leave New York, to not be in the center of where all that business takes place would be foolish. So even at 17, even when we're not making a lot of rational decisions as kids, I knew then that to escape just for fun or to be planted in the center of where the activity and the jobs and the opportunities would be, it was a no-brainer to choose Fordham in the Bronx, which was in the epicenter.
It is the epicenter, obviously being in the city. And I know you used some of that experience and how that actually kind of catapulted your career, which we'll get through in a minute. But did you have similar discussions? You have 3 amazing daughters. I've had the pleasure of watching them grow up, Giovanna, Olivia, and Lucia. Did you instill some of that advice onto them?
Some of it, but as I mentioned, things have changed so much that I think that now there's less of a concern of exactly where you have to go for your undergraduate. It's a little bit more about broadening your opportunities and your experiences. Don't be so focused on broadcasting or journalism. Think about all the things. Think about a liberal arts school that will give you a lot of different exposure. So I think we're very strongly encouraging them to keep the aperture wide open. Just choose some of the best schools you can get into with the grades you have, so that you'll elevate your game in terms of the professors and the students around you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about how you got started, though. You're in Fordham in your final, semester or whatever. How did you launch into this career in media entertainment?
Well, first part of the conversation we're just having came true. Being in New York, I had exposure to great internships. So I had a great PR internship at a major New York City hospital, an internship at a major New York ad agency. And that experience accomplished 2 things. It gave me a sense of what I liked and didn't like about the different places or that type of career. But most importantly, when I graduated, the internship I had the last semester, senior year, said, "We like the work you're doing. You seem to be working hard and picking it up fast. And would you like a full-time gig?" And that was truly the start of my career. I did not job hunt after college. I literally went from my internship right to a full-time gig at the same place.
So that was paid or unpaid internship?
Oh, unpaid. That's it. You're in that position, that rare position in your life, where all you're thinking about is get as much experience as you can. Now, like you and I both worked to pay our way through college, so it wasn't as though it was just cash was on hand. You had to do that to make sure you could pay the tuition bills, but you took every opportunity you could to learn from somebody really smart in those pivotal years.
But I think there's a bit lesson even today to be able to do that. I think you got to get on that path one way or the other, especially in these maybe difficult job hunting times, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we still have the company I recently left. I was at for 18 years. We had a very robust internship program that another person and I put together, and it's great to see that so many years later there are 20-year-olds who are just eager to get in and learn it. And they don't care if it pays, what it pays. They just want to go in, and they want to start to open up the doors to how do I build a career.
Big time advice, especially in these times, I think even more so. So I know you have what I would call a business building success formula, and I found that really interesting. We were kind of jawing about that off mic. Tell me about what yours is.
Yeah, Briskie, it's interesting. The first half of my career was at ad agencies, where I was working at the advertising agency, but servicing our clients, our various clients, from Miller Beer to whomever else. The second part of my career was on the sales side, where I was trying to pitch things to clients. And the thing I found, though it wasn't part of a mantra that I had going in at 21, the thing I found over the last 37 years is that the 3 words that keep coming up that have been, I think, the key to developing long-term relationships: trust, first and foremost. The second is an interesting one: continuity. My best relationships are because these are people that I've worked with and been directly involved in their business. Even if I had a big team under me, directly involved in their business for years and years. And then the third is innovation. It didn't matter whether you're an agency person, they wanted a new media idea. If you're a salesperson, they want what's something new to do in cinema advertising that nobody's ever done before. If you can keep those 3 things, at least for me, you can keep those 3 things top of mind, you develop some remarkable relationships.
And you've actually worked with some amazing companies. I know you don't like to brag too much, and you're really a modest guy. I mean, let's face it. But why don't you just throw out some of the names that you've actually worked with as clients?
It crosses every single major category. I would say in the last 10 years, for example, the telcos were tremendous partners that we were able to grow into big cinema partners. Certainly the T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, and Verizons of the world. The automotive market has always been one of my favorites. I love getting into Detroit and into Southern California, where a lot of the imports are, and digging deep, cool programs to build with those guys. Armed services, big players in the advertising space. it cuts across everything: retail, QSR, casual dining, you name it.
How big, at NCMI, how big was your team for sales?
The overall team was about 185 people, because that was broken into a very robust local team that was literally in the market selling a couple theaters in their neighborhood, a regional team that sold multi-DMA buys, and then the national team, which is, of course, the one that generates the most revenue with the smallest amount of people, and we love that scale.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about your new business, KPI, and we've got about a minute. Talk to me about KPI, just a tease. What is KPI all about? What's it going to do for people?
Yeah, you said it, Briskie. It starts with the concept of media matchmaking. How do you take clients that trust you? How do you act as the middleman? Take a client that trusts you and says, I'm struggling to figure out what to do in the music area to build programs, or in the esports area. And how do you bring the best experts in those areas and connect them? And that's why I call it media matchmaking, because clearly what I'm going to do is leverage 37 years of relationships on client and agency side with a whole bunch of experts in different categories who have really cutting edge stuff that they're doing right now in these categories, and introduce them to each other, and in some cases take the project all the way to fruition.
I think you got a winner on your hand. I love the play on words as well. KPI, you know I'm a big guy when it comes to puns. I'm sure that just happens to jive with your name. But, it is a pleasure for me to have you on the program. I'm anxious to hear a little bit more about KPI, but we're about out of time on this first segment. And I told you, man, this thing is going to go by like a snap. It's great to catch up with you. We're going to hear more about KPI and how you can help mentor people. This is going to conclude this segment of Briskie Business, and we're going to be back, right back in a moment with Brisk Buy or Bail.
Cardio Beats from Youngevity supports a healthy cardiovascular system and helps supply the nutrients your body needs to support better physical endurance. Your capacity to last a little longer is largely based on how well your cardiovascular system expends oxygen and circulates blood through your body. Cardio Beats helps combat the oxidative stress caused by physical activity by supplying you with key nutrients that support your cardiovascular system. These nutrients have also been shown to help improve endurance. Cardio Beats starts with organic beets, a rich source of nitrates to support healthy blood flow and oxygen transport. We've added whole foods from highly bioavailable seaweed and mango fruit, both known for blood flow support, and antioxidant-rich sweet cherries. Then, for even more heart health benefits, we finished it off with key amino acids. Take your physical endurance to the next level with Cardio Beats. Talk to your Youngevity associate for more information.
Understanding your microbiome can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Are you looking for high entertainment and energy in your media? Download the ENTV USA app now. You're not going to want to miss what we got to offer. We are ENTV USA. Click and subscribe. Con una vista, basta.
Super Greens is a one-of-a-kind blend that's loaded with hard-to-find nutrient-dense superfoods. We've used what we've learned from our more than 20 years working with mineral-based nutrition to create one of the healthiest, plant-based nutritional products available. Each superfood was carefully selected so that it complements and enhances the others, helping to maximize Supergreen's nutritional power. Next, we added a specialized fermentation technique to increase the bioavailability of each superfood. Finally, we put in powerful probiotics and enzymes for added digestive support to give you jam-packed nutritional support. Youngevity Supergreens, the highly alkalinizing super supplement that helps balance your body. It's the superfood-powered way to get more organic fruits and veggies in your day, all in just one scoop. Check with your Youngevity distributor to learn more.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. This segment of the program is Brisk's Buy or Bail. It's about the decision-making process. I'm sitting here with Dave Kupiec. He is the founder and CEO of KPI, and we're talking about the media business. And I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Dave back to our program. And Dave, you know what? I didn't talk about this in the first segment, but I did it. Many people probably do not know that I know you since I'm 18 years old, that first year at Fordham University. I mean, who would have thought that, there would be these types of friendships 40 years later?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. We're lucky to have them.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have him. So it's great to be involved and be able to watch people be successful. And I'm going to embarrass Dave a little bit. I'm going to start referring to him, and I never would have thought this 18 years ago, but Dave Kupiec, the media mogul.
I'll take it.
Okay, so let's get started. This is about the decision-making process, obviously. Buy or bail, what we do to go through it. Let's go through yours. You've had some really interesting decisions you had to make through your business career. Let's go through that process, and let's start with how you got involved with such an esteemed company like Gourmet and Men's Journal. Talk about how you got involved with that, and what was the decision process to join those fine institutions.
Yeah, we'll do. Briskie used a great word before called pivot, and that's such a critical thing to have the good fortune to have some opportunities become available, but to also have a sense of what you're looking for down the road to know when to pivot. And clearly, when I was on the ad agency side of the business after 10 years, there were a lot of growth opportunities there. There was an opportunity to be a media director at a mid-sized agency in New York. All things I kind of dreamed about when I started my career there. And then as I got to know a lot of people at the Condé Nast Company and the people at Gourmet, and I knew that they were looking for somebody with my type of experience to overhaul their marketing department, there was something that was so powerful about that magazine, about the loyalty that it owned with its readers and the quality of the publication. And I said, this is a good time to pivot and see what the publishing world is all about. So that was instrumental, and that led to a 10-year run on the publishing side at a couple of really just tremendous magazines.
Yeah, I mean, those are really, really big brands, obviously, and I'm sure you learned a lot. One of the things I really admire about your career is you didn't pivot. A lot of people pivot like on a downward slide. It seems your entire career, things were, the wind was at your back. Things were really, really climbing. It takes a lot more courage to make a move and pivot in those circumstances. It's a little bit easier when the ship's sinking. That certainly hasn't been the case with you, has it?
No, it has been the case. I will say that there has been some good fortune that some of the businesses that I've left, at the time I left publishing, I thought, and many people thought that might be a crazy thing to do, but I saw something else that really seemed like it could grow and expand to become a tremendous company, which we're fortunate that it did. So, no, it was never about running away from a bad business. It's interesting, Briskie, and even today, the business that I left, the movie theater business, certainly has hit the toughest time in its 100-year history, with the theaters being closed for so long. And I know a couple of people have asked me, so would that have something to do with you leaving? And my retirement from NCM was all negotiated back in January. It's supposed to be July 1st. So COVID hit afterwards, and what we did instead is I sat down with our board and said, I can't leave on July 1st. We're in the middle of a crisis. And that's the wrong time to leave. That's when you have to have continuity, as we talked about earlier. So we stuck around. I stuck around for another 3 months just to get the ship back on track, to get the train back on track.
And that's kind of what I'm saying, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because you pivoted into NCMI publishing. There was no sign that publishing was getting weak at all. It was the opposite. So it took a tremendous amount of courage. I think you saw an amazing opportunity, and then you pivoted into your own action. And I know you've been wanting to do your own thing for quite a while, but I'm glad you mentioned it. COVID, the demise of the theater business, had nothing to do at all with your exit. It's kind of my point. That thing was climbing. In fact, and you were leaving on a high. I mean, let's face it. NCMI had some of its highest market cap. Its sales were approaching, $500 million in sales last year. So, geez, I mean, you were really, really hitting it hard, and you just picked the perfect time to depart. And I'm very impressed and frankly very proud of you that you went back to them and say, I can't leave now. It would have been real easy to walk out with the heavy lift that the theater would have, or this business would have. But I'm very impressed that you went back to them and said, no, I'm going to stick this out and help with the transition. Good on you, my friend.
Briskie, if you truly believe in teamwork, if you truly believe that your role as a manager is to keep that team coordinated and keep them excited and keep them feeling good about each other and about you, how could you possibly leave the trenches when time gets tough? You just can't do it.
And that's
I don't think any good manager would be able to do that.
Well, and that's why you're so successful, and that's why your team respects you the way they do. So let's go ahead. This new thing, this new love, this media mogul opportunity that you're creating, media matchmaking, I love. Let's talk about KPI's mission and where that got formed, and why now is the right time.
Yeah, you bet. The thing I was noticing over the last 5-6 years in my last role is that the ad agency world has gotten very bloated. And as agencies get bigger and buy more and more agencies and all part of holding companies, clients would often express over a lunch or over a beer after work, boy, I just don't feel like I can get my hands really into a cool project or something unique. Everything's feeling cookie cutter. Everything feels massively overproduced, too much red tape. And it seemed to me that there was a longing to get back to almost what we used to call a boutique agency. Somebody that came in with extremely high caliber people and great partners and great ideas, innovative ideas, and then tailored them, truly looked at your brand's KPIs and tailored them to make them custom made. I often say, I would like this business to feel like the first time you had a custom suit made for yourself, where you walk out and you say, that's exactly what I needed, because we think, we hear, we understand, we come up with a great program, a great concept for you. So that's the KPI name was very, very deliberate in terms of wanting to create things that really address what that brand needs in a very small, hands-on kind of way.
Well, that's exciting. And is KPI officially kicked off now?
Officially kicked off, absolutely. First 2 partners on board and actively involved in both the music space and the esports space, which is just growing like crazy.
For the older listeners out there, can you talk a little about what esports is? Because some people don't know.
You bet. So a lot of people know about e-gaming, which is certainly playing games with other people on the web. So it's a typical video game, but you're able to play with people across the country and across the world. Esports is taking e-gaming and turning it into realistic tournaments where you have the best players in a couple of different video game categories, and they will sit in an auditorium that holds 20,000 people, and that room would be filled with fans, and they will just watch the experts play each other. There are many channels that are being developed now on the web around esports, and there are influencers talking about esports, but brands don't know how to get into it, and yet they know it is ripe with young male audiences who don't watch TV and are super hard to reach everywhere else. So it's fascinating.
It really is fascinating, and that's what I love about your career path. It just always seems to be a step in the direction of what's cool, fun, and exciting. And you know, even your own children think you're cool, which I think, you know, I think everything about your daughters is amazing, but you definitely aren't that cool.
Well, as long as you don't tell them, I'll be fine.
Well, thank God this isn't broadcasted at all. So listen, have you made, this is the buy or bail decision. We discussed a lot of your pivots, but is there any buy decisions or bail decisions that you just maybe didn't work out the way you thought they might when you made the decisions?
No, there have been 3 chapters. There's a mini one. So within the publishing time, the time I was in publishing, I was at Gourmet, and it was a great run, and I saw an opportunity to take a much higher role at a magazine called Men's Fitness, which is owned by Weider, who does a lot of big muscle magazines. That was the wrong move. The company just wasn't at the level of where I was trying to go and the advertisers that I had great relationships with. So I immediately pivoted and went over to Men's Journal, part of Wenner, and then became the publisher there, and that was the game changer. So I'd say that was the hiccup in an otherwise a very blessed run so far.
But what a huge lesson, because I sometimes think people get on a path, right? And they think, well, I got to stay on that path. I made this decision. But sometimes the biggest mistake we can make in our decision making is not identifying the decision we make was wrong and cut through. You know, so good on you for that. Another learning experience for you. And believe it or not, we just ripped through another segment. This is going to conclude Brisk's Buy or Bail, and we're going to be right back with the public market segment, Brisk, Bulls, and Bears. I'll be back with Dave Kupiec, media mogul with KPI.
A strong heart is a happy heart. Your body's systems depend on a healthy cardiovascular system to thrive. Without a healthy heart, you could experience symptoms like fatigue, aches and pains, dizziness, or shortness of breath. Youngevity developed Ultimate EFA Plus with a proprietary balanced blend of essential fatty acids. We started with flaxseed oil. It's been shown to improve the elasticity of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Next, we included cold water fish oils, rich in omega-3s that can promote a healthy cardiovascular system and even increase levels of good HDL cholesterol. Then we added borage oil, known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Blended together, these essential fatty acids provide you with the optimal blend of nutrients to help maintain normal cardiovascular health. Ultimate EFA Plus, the right nutrients to improve your heart health naturally. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
As you age, the collagen that helps keep your body in optimal physical condition breaks down faster than your body can replace it. But now, it's easy to give your body the healthy dose of collagen it needs with Collagen Creamer from Youngevity. It's a delicious vanilla-flavored coffee creamer that's packed with 7.5 grams of bovine-sourced collagen peptides. Youngevity's Collagen Creamer uses 2 types of collagen to better supply the protein needed to repair and strengthen the connective tissue in your body. It also supports healthy hair, skin, nails, and even bones. We've also formulated Collagen Creamer with MCT, healthy fats that the body is able to absorb and convert into an instant boost of energy. Add it to coffee or one of your other favorite beverages when you need it. Youngevity Collagen Creamer. Support for healthy connective tissue and more energy, all in a tasty vanilla-flavored creamer. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Antioxidants are essential to protect your cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. Turmeric by Youngevity harnesses the power of nature to combat free radicals by delivering a potent boost of antioxidants known for their incredible healing properties. Sourced from certified organic turmeric root, turmeric contains 95% curcuminoids, the active compounds that quash free radicals. Turmeric has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for thousands of years to promote both heart and brain health, as well as its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. We've also included a botanical blend of phytonutrients that include flavonoids, carotenoids, and sulfides. These natural, plant-based chemicals are powerful contributors to overall health and well-being. Turmeric, the organic antioxidant supplement from Youngevity, formulated to promote optimal health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you have to look it or feel it. Immortalium by Youngevity was developed to support your body's ability to age normally and healthfully. It's an advanced anti-aging supplement that combines the most effective essential nutrients in a cutting-edge, bi-layered and extended release tablet designed to support your telomere health and natural aging process. Telomeres are the biological clocks within your cells that form the protective ends of almost every chromosome in your body. Telomeres help prevent the chromosomes from deteriorating. The longer and healthier the telomeres in a cell, the greater the health and anti-aging benefits. Immortalium contains synergizing antioxidant enzymes and telomere health-promoting nutrients that are quickly absorbed to give your body time to break down the antioxidants and put them to work. Immortalium, advanced anti-aging support that can help fight the natural aging process. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate. Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business, and we're getting ready to start segment 3, which is Brisk Bulls and Bears, the public market segment. And I'm having the greatest time talking with a 40-year friend, someone I met in college who actually is doing so well in his life, in his world, and has started a new business called KPI, which he has now founded and is the CEO of. So let's bring Dave Kupiec back onto the program. So Dave, your career is always on the cutting edge, right, in the entertainment media space. So that has given you kind of a distinct advantage, I think, or at least you created an advantage of leveraging what you could see or see the future almost because of ad space. And you've kind of dovetailed that into an interesting investment strategy. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, Brisk. The whole media space is obviously primarily about bringing clients great ideas and telling them how to spend their money to advertise to consumers. And so as things start to pop up, like a Facebook or a Google or a Twitter or a Instagram, clients want to know all about those. You know, how do I use those? I keep reading about those. And I think because I spend so much time with clients and have over the last couple of decades, I'm often hearing things that they're getting excited about before it's all over the press. It's hardly insider information. It's just part of understanding the buzz that's going on in the marketplace. So I have not made a lot of investments, individual investments. I'm very comfortable with a broad portfolio, as I think we all are. But I have seen opportunities where I worked with a client and I saw if 8 clients all of a sudden were interested in what can I do on Snapchat? When Snapchat IPOs, I want a piece of that because I could feel that buzz. I was doing a ton of work with Ford, and when the whole automotive industry collapsed back in 8, Ford didn't take a bailout, and the other 2 did. And I knew the Ford management team. I knew they had great new vehicles coming out. And I said, there's just no way they're going to get buried like the other guys. And so all of a sudden, Ford, roared back when the market improved. So been very, very lucky. I think other people have been very lucky in those accounts too, because as you read that Twitter is responsible for the whole Arab Spring, that began in Egypt, you're like, hey, this might be something to pay attention to. But the media business gave us a little bit more insight, at least me a little bit more insight with some high-level clients about where their radar is starting to go.
And you brought up something interesting because it's not, everyone's so afraid insider trading. This is not insider trading at all. That's when you get it. This is insider knowledge. This is a feeling. This is like you're learning on the front end. You're way out in front, but then you still have to have the courage and use your intuition to say, hey, do I believe in this enough to put my money into its stock? And you've had some other pretty interesting clients that have done pretty well in the public markets. I want to say Netflix is one. Potentially?
Yeah, Netflix, boy, we all remember when our moms were getting DVDs delivered in the mail with a Netflix return envelope. And as soon as Reed Hastings said, I think I'm going to do something that will allow me to distribute movies over the web, I was like, oh boy, he's on to something. And a lot of people said, like Google and Apple, they're going to eat his lunch. He got in first, he got in fast, he got tremendous investment. And that has been an insane investment over the years.
Yeah, and there's been a bunch more. So, good on you that you were smart enough and astute enough to look at the knowledge you were given, the privilege of that knowledge as clients, and then actually, if you think about it, really invest in your clients. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great, as you said, it's great to invest in people that you're working with. It's a true show of faith. Anytime you invest in a company that someone or a company you do business with and you really believe it's a great investment, that speaks well for the relationship.
Really, and then obviously from a public market standpoint, you were there, NCMI. I mean, you found another company that was really quite cutting edge, and you were there when they rang the bell on NASDAQ as well, weren't you?
Yeah, what a great time. 2007, and Briskie, I've been fortunate enough to be on that NASDAQ tower 2 times, once with my company and quite honestly, once with yours. It's a beautiful feeling and a very special and humbling feeling. But we knew that we had something that AMC and Regal and Cinemark were really behind, and the flurry of activity to learn more about our business model happened much faster than we expected. So after launching in 2002 and thinking we had a 10-year runway to get there, in 2007, the market was ripe at that point, and we jumped in, and it was a tremendous feeling. And I learned so much. I can say I was not a business major, nor do I have an MBA. I got an MBA preparing for that IPO. That was an incredible learning experience with all the bankers and analysts and our CFO that I was working with.
And then those of us that have been on the public side and get the joy of ringing that bell, which is an amazing experience, things change when we walk out of NASDAQ or out of New York Stock Exchange, don't they?
Yeah, that glory day lasts for about a day. and everybody says, oh, that's amazing, you took it public and now like the world is your oyster. Nope. Every quarter I got to get completely undressed for first the board and then the analysts. And it changes your entire strategy of how you manage, particularly in our company, in a sales company. What you're managing towards. You're managing towards what the analysts want to see. You're managing towards whether we're going to lower or raise our guidance. You're not really managing towards hitting the goals, which is how your people get paid their full commission, their full bonuses. So it's wearing 2 hats for sure once you move into that public realm. It's exciting as hell, but I will say, if I had my druthers, I would have taken us back private.
Well, yes, you're giving us
For
a
the
little bit of tip then. I mean, obviously you've retired from NCMI and now you've started your own media matchmaking company, which I love. I just love that tagline. I think it says exactly what it is. Why don't you tell us about KPI? I think you've already tipped us off. There's probably no vision there for going public. You've already talked a little bit about the downside of that, or not even downside, but the challenges of that. And then also you've been talking about keeping things like a boutique, which that doesn't go real well with public opportunity.
Right.
So talk about KPI and its mission.
Yeah, you hit it, Briskie. I want this to be something that I'm completely involved in all the time. I don't want to have a staff of 100 people. I want to have my hands into every deal we do. Now, as we grow, clearly I won't be able to do every piece of the work, and then there will need to be a staff that builds up and creates marketing materials, et cetera. But the whole feel is that if a client says, I trust Dave, he's always brought me good ideas over the last 30 years, and I want to support him in this new opportunity, and I bring them great ideas that they know I'm intimately involved with and handling, that's exactly what I want. And that doesn't, as you say, that doesn't scale particularly well, and it certainly doesn't generally become an IPO model. Could be a takeover, buyout model down the road. We'll see how that goes.
It probably will make a lot of sense as a takeover model, absolutely, for sure. If I know you, my friend, I mean, people are always looking to get in bed with media moguls, so I think you're going to be there to make it happen. And I think really,
are you allowed to say that?
I think what we really need to talk about is you making your first hire, and that person over your right shoulder there, I think, would be willing to work fairly cheaply.
Sergeant at Arms.
All right, man, that's cool. You know what I found interesting when you were talking about the boutique nature, how things come full circle. It's really, really interesting. We watched retail started on Main Street, all the little shops, right? Then it went into big boxes started to develop. Then malls started to develop. Now we're watching the crumbling, literally, of big box and malls. But it's interesting how it's circling back around, and we're hearing words like experiential. So we had to pull out a new word, and experiential retail. What was Main Street?
Touching and feeling the product,
Yeah, it was experiential retail, right? So, I mean, it really was. It was just, it doesn't sound cool to say Main Street anymore, so we talk about that. So it's interesting that you're bringing back boutique, and you got about a minute left to give your best foot forward on the type of partnerships you're looking for and the clients you're going after with KPI.
Yeah, sure. As I said, we see, the group of partners I want to put together will be a group that are hitting areas that I think are very interesting, but not well used or underserved. So, and as I mentioned, music is a great, almost every brand, unless you're in like the pharmaceutical category, is trying to figure out how do we leverage music to take advantage of a young audience, to build a relationship with a young audience. And yet a lot of them do it very poorly. Just putting a Who commercial, a Who soundtrack in your commercial is not using music. So building programs around music, I love. Esports, I love. There's a whole new business that started in virtual events that can be incredibly interactive but take place virtually. All kinds of interactive games that you can be playing with people on the web while you're at a conference that used to take place in a room with 20,000 people. That may be a short-term play. I have a feeling it may be a longer-term play than we think, and so I love that area. And there'll be three other categories, three at most other categories, and those will be the stable of experts in the KPI pool. And Perfect. Those will be the ones that when you need a connection, Mr. Kia, Mr. T-Mobile, Miss TJ Maxx, we will have a partner for you. And a great idea.
That is awesome. And I love it. So listen, we ripped through another segment. That's Brisk Bulls and Bears is behind us now. And we're going to come back with Dave Kupiec, founder and CEO of KPI, with Brisk Best and Brightest.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Super Greens is a one-of-a-kind blend that's loaded with hard-to-find nutrient-dense superfoods. We've used what we've learned from our more than 20 years working with mineral-based nutrition to create one of the healthiest, plant-based nutritional products available. Each superfood was carefully selected so that it complements and enhances the others, helping to maximize Super Greens' nutritional power. Next, we added a specialized fermentation technique to increase the bioavailability of each superfood. Finally, we put in powerful probiotics and enzymes for added digestive support to give you jam-packed nutritional support. Youngevity Super Greens, the highly alkalinizing super supplement that helps balance your body. It's the superfood-powered way to get more organic fruits and veggies in your day, all in just one scoop. Check with your Youngevity distributor to learn more.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Antioxidants are essential to protect your cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. Turmeric by Youngevity harnesses the power of nature to combat free radicals by delivering a potent boost of antioxidants known for their incredible healing properties. Sourced from certified organic turmeric root, turmeric contains 95% curcuminoids, the active compounds that quash free radicals. Turmeric has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for thousands of years to promote both heart and brain health, as well as its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. We've also included a botanical blend of phytonutrients that include flavonoids, carotenoids, and sulfides. These natural, plant-based chemicals are powerful contributors to overall health and well-being. Turmeric, the organic antioxidant supplement from Youngevity, formulated to promote optimal health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. And this final segment of the program is Brisk's Best and Brightest. And I'm speaking with one of this country's best and brightest, my very, very good friend who's starting a new venture, the founder and CEO of KPI. Dave, welcome back to the program. Time to kind of slow it down a little bit, sit back, have a cup of coffee. My wife actually did pick out this coffee cup. She thought that would resonate with your heart. It says, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. So she picked that out for you. And, when we get to see you soon, you can talk to her about that choice of coffee mugs. But I think it's very, very true.
Love it.
Okay, my friend, this is about mentorship, and I know it's always been important to you. Let's talk about giving the listeners some of your perspective on the role of mentorship.
Sure. Mentorship, I think, has taken on a much more prominent role in business, which is great. There are formal mentoring programs. When young people join a company, they're assigned to a more senior leader as a formal mentor. That didn't exist when we started out in business, but we already knew from being kids and watching our parents and learning from them, and then becoming parents and making sure our kids were seeing the best example set for them. Mentoring is going on all the time. It's going on subconsciously. It's going on in almost every action that takes place in the workplace. So to me, we referenced it a little bit earlier, if you're a manager and you are always there in the trenches with the troops, and you're not the last one in the morning or the first one out at night, that sets an example. If you show that you have the compassion to say, you're having a tough day for a variety of other reasons, best for you to go home right now. We got this covered. Go home. Take care of your dog. Take care of your mom, whatever's going on. Those are such simple examples that you'd think anybody would do. But the more that you do those day in and day out, people say, oh, okay, that's the way I want to be. You know, when I get to a point where I'm getting to manage people. The other part of mentoring is obviously, and it was huge for me, you do find those one or two people that are just so good at what they do. When I worked at an ad agency, I just had the most brilliant media director that I was fortunate to get hired to work with, and I glued myself to that person. I watched every way that he put together a presentation, how he delivered it, the creative ideas he was coming up with. So it's a very proactive thing when you're young to go find those smart people and make sure that you volunteer to do every project with them you can. In my last company, we didn't have an internship program until about 6 or 7 years ago, and myself and one of the persons started it up because we'd gotten to a size where we felt that it was inexcusable that we weren't bringing in 5 to 10 young people over the summer to help them understand what the media business is about and what really happens. And we got them deeply involved. There was no copying going on in that internship. They were out on sales calls and they were building marketing presentations. So, you know, you have 2 daughters, I have 3 daughters. We grew up as parents knowing how important it is to set the examples, to give people those experiences. And as people say, business and home are very different. I think there's a whole ton of overlap in the way that you operate as a person.
Man, those are really strong words. Thank you for sharing them. You know, I know one of the things that you're very excited about, getting some time freedom back with KPI to kind of put some of that time, not always pleasing the analysts necessarily, to put it in maybe things at this point in your life that matter. And I noticed, and I read about it, I was really proud of you, but I noticed that you were able to join, and I think it's going to be a wonderful contribution, but you were added to the board of CureSearch, and I'm sure that's going to take a fair amount of time. Tell us about that and what went into that decision.
Absolutely. CureSearch, for those of your viewers that don't know, CureSearch is one of the most important not-for-profits that's raising money for pediatric cancer. My wife and I and one of my twin daughters had an experience with a friend of hers in school when she was in grade school who had a terrible form of pediatric cancer and who passed away from it while they were still very young. Left a very strong mark on our daughter and absolutely on us. And when I first was contacted by the CureSearch board, and they were looking for somebody with a lot of media and marketing and advertising experience, and all I could think about was this girl Talia, this experience. And one of the very important things that CureSearch does is directly related to this type of cancer. It almost seemed like it was Providence. There was a reason why all of a sudden they reached out to say, is there something you could do to help us out? So I jumped on board a couple of years ago. And for the last 2 years, as we all are, you know, when you're working in a public company, you put in your 65 hours a week or whatever, and there's just not a lot of time left other than quarterly CureSearch board meetings. So you said it. I'm so excited to have control over my time. I can have 2 hours a day to work on CureSearch. It's 100% my call. And I love that.
And that's a wonderful call you're making. By the way, I had the privilege of having the CEO, Kay Keeler, on the program of CureSearch, a remarkable woman. I can only say that our listeners here that have a heart for giving, they should go check out the fine work that CureSearch is doing. And I think it's a good place to put some of those I'll call them investment dollars into the nonprofit. And speaking of that, you got CureSearch going on. That's the whole nonprofit world, a very actually big world, big opportunity for people. Is there room for other nonprofits in the mission of KPI?
I think there have to be. I can tell you that almost every person I speak to who's my age and has had the blessing, the good fortune to have a good couple of decades in business, we all come to this conclusion that we have worked hard and we've made money, and it's been very exciting, very fulfilling. And we need to devote some portion of all that learning, all that education that we got in business to something besides making another dollar. So to me, 25% of KPI should, at minimum, 25% should be working on projects that are going to be not-for-profit. It has to be. We can do just fine making 75% of our projects ones that actually produce a profit. So that's part of the marketing strategy for the overall company, is to have a 25% focus on not-for-profits and charitables. If we don't do it now, when we're young and healthy and have 35 years of great experience, then what the hell are we waiting for?
Really proud of you, man. That is a absolute.
You do it too, brother.
Yeah, listen. We do what we can, and it's wonderful to see you being able to contribute a big chunk of your company time to making the world a better place and helping those that are in need. So I'm really, really proud of that, and I'm sure KPI is going to do great things for a lot of folks. So let's dovetail quickly into that part of that program I love to talk about, which is those gap moments, which our type A personalities really sometimes need to focus. You are better at this than me, my friend. You have a lot of big vacations and stuff like that, and I got so busy sometimes that I had to find those little gaps of time each day that would bring joy to my life and appreciation that would keep me fueled. I'd like to hear about your gap moments, and we got 2 minutes, so we got plenty of time. This has been a very, very nice program. So tell me about those gap moments for you. How do you find joy in your life, my friend?
Oh, you bet. And how it's changed since I left the big corporate world. Back then, the gap moment was giving my daughter a hug before I left for another endless plane flight. And even just having that 20 minutes to have breakfast with her was a gap moment. But when the work stopped, having 3 young girls and a wife who also has a very, very busy and successful career, I soaked up every moment. We have a house up in the country, which is where we are now. I soaked up every moment to just be up here with them. Whatever they want to do. You want to roll in the leaves. You want to take a walk to the lake. You want to learn to do this. You want to go into town. Any moment you could get with your kids on the weekends when you didn't have to be in an office or on a plane or in the airport. That's always been the biggest one. I'd say the other one, we've been lucky. Both my wife and I, Celeste and I, did a lot of traveling before we had our families, and we didn't want to give that up. So from the time they were about 2 years old, they were on planes and going wherever we all wanted to go as a family. Those are unforgettable. There's that period, that just a couple-week period each year of vacation time as a family that I will never forget. If there weren't a photo album around, I still wouldn't forget all those memories. Those are huge. And every now and then you find a little time for yourself too. I've never played guitar as well as I wanted to, and I love having more time to do that. I love having time to exercise and run and be on the elliptical on a daily basis, as opposed to in a hotel room when I've got time between 2 meetings. So those things are all important, but it all starts with the kids and the time with my wife right now.
That's fantastic. And, you got the perfect place for gap moments up there in that guitar around that fire pit. I've had the privilege and the joy of being able to experience that with your incredible family. And I hope to do it again sometime really, really soon. Dave, this really wraps it up. I mean, I've just enjoyed spending my time with media mogul Dave Kupiec. And it's fun to call you that, my friend.
You can any day. Do I have 5 seconds?
You have 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. I know I don't get to interview you, but I got to tell you, the first couple times I saw your show, the fact that you're taking this much time to prepare and shoot these shows, also that you can give a younger person going into business a better head to how to handle it and a sense of mentorship through this format. Beautiful, buddy. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
This is Dave Briskie. This ends Briskie Business. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers, buddy.